Oh, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another week of following that little yellow house down some of the prettiest roads in America. Now, we've been sitting still for a bit now in Florida because Shane has been building something really, really cool. Over that time period, we have gotten to hang out with some really awesome family members and have some really incredible experiences. We've gotten to see the manatees, the monkeys, the glow-in-the-dark glowfish, all of the beautiful southern oaks, some beaches, and a lot more that Florida has to offer. I, for one, am ready to explore a whole lot more of it, but Shane has to finish this project first. He is so very close, guys, and I think we might be going and finding some of those pretty roads by the end of this week. It's still messy out here.
How many sows was that, Kelsey? Was it at least 2? We are so close. Or have we promoted to 3 sows?
We'll go with 4.
Isn't it looking awesome? I wish it was a little darker outside. You can't really see the lights in the daylight. Come look what we have done. Pardon my big and goofy hand. I'm really excited to show you guys all of the bells and whistles in this box of tricks that I've been building for the past 6, almost 7 months now. Everything in here has been custom built by these 2 hands, including a 600 amp hour battery pack, as well as almost 1300 watts of solar on the roof, a 12 volt air conditioner, max air fan, a shower that appears out of nowhere seemingly, and beds hidden in every direction. Yo, hang on, this week's gonna be fun. I gotta get this place clean so I stop tripping over my stuff. I'm not really sure if it's gonna rain or not. It looks angry out there, but I still gotta keep going. The stuff we are doing this week is all the invisible stuff. It's the stuff that makes it, function. But without it, nothing functions, and you really don't even notice that it happens. Such as all of the trim work in the shower. It does look done, but it's not, and you're gonna see why when I'm done. Even down to that's got to be caulked and sealed, and all these have to be capped. All the stuff. Then our table can go on. Let's see if we can make some progress with the shower. I did already start by adding my water lines, which are just running through this hollow cavity. And through the progression of this build, that hollow cavity has changed significantly. It was just a cute little way to hide these water pipes, but at some point along the way, we decided to make this area a bed as well. So this in turn is used as a weight distribution for the bed when it folds out. Everything has a purpose. It's not all just spaceship vibes, but it is all spaceship vibes. Let's keep moving. As I'm finishing up things in this corner, I kind of wanted to talk about a few of the amenities of this multi-layered corner before I put the last layer of trim on, because it won't really be clear. So our first layer of all of this is a pocket door. It goes to the cab and is keeping out a lot of sunshine at this moment because the rain finally stopped. That goes back into the wall first, and then we have a booth, and we have a fold down table that's going to be hung over this window. Inside of this booth is a dry toilet. That dry toilet can be removed with this removable face down here by taking those 2 latches off. That comes out, and you can take your toilet out, which is important because this then extends and becomes half of the bed that this turns into. That's why the toilet comes out, and you can sit it here, or you could take it and clean it. It's not mounted inside because it uses a Mylar bag type of system instead of a black tank. So therefore, we don't have to have any main plumbing going down. Now, behind all of that, we have a shower as well. I have used every inch of that corner I possibly can. Now, what I'm bragging about is the fact that this shower pan is underset under this wall, so all the water that comes down lands in the shower pan. But stuff breaks, and honestly, this is a Rec Pro shower pan, so it's a $150 shower pan. And I would hate for the person that owns this, if something were to happen to their shower pan, if they had to tear apart all this hard work just to replace that. So the way I build things allows to just take off of the attaching hardware and the bottom trim in the shower pan, and the whole thing slides out. And that makes it an easy repair for something that can and possibly will break at some point in the future of this rig over the structures that I'm building, which I'm hoping lasts longer than I do. There is a cover that goes here, so obviously you do have to take things slightly apart, but instead of tearing into something with a saw and a hammer, I always try to leave a way to replace the things that can break. Glued and bonded wood is rarely something that breaks unless you got something big hitting it. Let's keep moving forward. I've got a lot of bells and whistles to show you all this week. Boy, this thing is exciting. Well, the thunder booming out there, and my radar says this is going to be the end of my day. But you never know. Maybe I'll be able to come back and do a little bit more. Today I've continued to move forward. I forgot to mention that these booths also feature extensions on both sides to turn them into doubles. This thing's got it all. I had to design each side differently as well because obviously each cabinet does something different. All of our plumbing is stored under this one, and all of, where you put your plumbing is stored under this one. And I also couldn't have a support leg because you need to be able to move around this. If you have 4 people eating, somebody's going to need something out of the kitchen, which I'm standing in now. There's a reason for everything. Okay. Let's see if I can get everything rain ready.
Guys, I tried real hard to get Shane to take today off, but I think he is a little bit too focused on getting us out of here so that he can show y'all the final product of all of this hard work, and so that little yellow house can get to moving again. As for me, I am gonna go and take advantage of the rest of the time that I have left with that awesome family I was telling you about earlier.
Now that's how I like to start a day, y'all. Let's keep moving forward with bells and whistles. Here's a prime example of why I build the way I build. So this component here goes over the refrigerator, and it looks like it belongs where it belongs. And I built this many months ago, and I knew I was going to have to cut out a portion of this back wall to allow wiring to run, but I did not know how big I needed, nor did I know the exact location. So once again, I build it to adjust, but part of adjusting is installing it. So I do all of this work, I paint it, and then it waits. So I know the exact amount of material to take out so it retains as much rigidity as possible just to go around those cables. If I would have been off by just a few inches, it could have made life a lot more interesting. Everything matters. All right. I have meticulously been cutting out all the trim for the shower, even down to making sure we have a drain point for any water that's going to hold up in this little pan area. And the next step is to clean this whole area, and then we're going to seal it. And the reason I've waited until the very end to do this is because construction causes debris like sawdust and any other sort of dust. And per my experience, I've done this earlier on in the process, that caulk can get kind of dirty and it's hard to clean, so you end up having to redo it. And my goal is to never to do the same thing twice. So let's do this caulk once and be done with it. Before I get too far done with this caulk job, I do want to talk about what I mean by caulking. Now, from the observation, it looks like I just screwed this trim up and then goop some goop right down the side, but nay, my friends, that's not how this party goes. I don't play, you don't know that. So where these two meet together, what you do is you inset a seam of caulk, and then you put one on either side of your L, and then you mount it, and then you caulk down the side of it. So we are truly making a sealed area with this stuff, so I'm gonna give it all that I can. And in the RV industry, that is a major fail point. And a lot of the manufacturing is they put all this effort into building something and then they just don't seal it properly, and it costs you thousands of dollars in the future. Now, the caulk I'm using is not just your normal shower caulk. This stuff is for exterior use. It is a serious sealant, but it bonds well with this product. And once again, it's mold resistant, algae resistant, which is all a big player down here where we're at. So everything that I've built in here is covered in this nice anti-mold paint as well. It's primed as well because the moisture level in Jacksonville is just outrageous, and I want this to last for as long as it possibly can. All right, let's keep going. I still got a few more pieces to seal up, and then it'll actually be a shower. Oh, that looks a million times better. Once again, and I'm sure some of you underestimate how much time it takes to fit a Shane-sized human in a space that big and do that detailed of work. But we got it done. But I think that's about all I'm gonna get done. The sun's going down. It's time to pack up. We have thunderstorms rolling in tonight too. We'll keep going tomorrow. Hello, Kelsey.
Hey, how's it going over here?
Fantastic. Hot. But I'm not gonna complain because that's not rain. Ooh, that's a Poland.
Those lights look pretty.
Still adding things in there, Kelsey. It continues to grow. Good morning, y'all. The beast is alive. Today, I'm finishing up testing the solar as well as all the DC to DC charging. So I've got the truck warming up, and it takes a bit to warm up a diesel. And then I'll progressively start turning on the rest of our hardware up here. Everything we've tested thus far has been below, and it is all working fantastically. We have 110 volts coming through every circuit. We have 12 volts coming through every circuit. Now we got to make sure this thing is charging properly. Boy, I love the sound of a diesel. Maybe one day the LoveHut will be a diesel too. Anytime I get to the end of one of these builds, me and Kelsey talk about putting our hands on the wall and physically going around and touching everything to make sure you don't miss anything. Now the catch with this is stuff overlaps, so you have to skip and then keep going, and you have to do it over and over again until it's all done. A perfect example of this, last night, and most of the day yesterday, honestly, I worked on the shower. Now we have caulk that has somewhat dried due to the humidity levels of this place. It's taken some time for that to dry, so I'm going to be sealing that off because there's a couple spots I need to touch up, but I'll have to wait till this evening. Now I finished tying the plumbing in, but I haven't finished tying the drain line in, which means I have to go to the store to pick up a piece of PEX, which means none of this gets done. But let's see if we can put this table in, because I'm tired of looking out this window freely.
Oh, guys, that sun is shining bright today, and it is absolutely beautiful. I'm going to focus my energy on getting this place cleaned up so that we can get that little yellow house moving again. Because I believe all of this is going back inside there today. Hey, how's it going in here? Oh, the table's in.
Come on in and take a gander. Normally I turn down the fans for y'all, but you're going to have to hear over the fans. It's hot. Ain't it pretty, Kelsey?
Pretty indeed. Oh, that's fun.
I've waited so long to see that. Alright, let's do more.
That corner next.
I suppose so. Y'all, it's not kind of dark, it's just dark. As you can see, combined, me and Kelsey have really cleaned up today. I still have a couple more piles, if you will, but they are fading quickly. All of that's my painting supplies. This is my everything supplies. I'm not really sure what's under that tarp. A bunch of stuff I just hadn't felt like dealing with. That mattress has got to be taken away to the landfill. But mostly, I have been standing inside of here, spinning in circles, completing every little task I can. The air fryer showed up today, and as you can see, it's stainless. I'm not going to be quite taking off the plastic yet. I don't want to get dust in it. I am also utilizing some more of these magnets that I've used throughout this build, and I've installed them on the actual tray here, which means this thing can be slid out. The fryer stays in place, and if you want to take the fryer off of the little cart, the plug is easily reachable behind it. You can sit it on the countertop, you can take it out, set it somewhere else at your friend's house. I finalized getting these drawers put together. Would you look at how big? That's some serious depth. The one below it is just as deep. Everything has no slam, slides, marine latches. I do not question anything is going to come open when in transit. Now here's where a refrigerator is going to live, but once again, it's stainless, and once I stick it in there, I can't really get in and out of the electrical box. Even with all of this finally installed, it's only about 6 screws, and I can be completely back into my electrical box. All of this is clear, like I said earlier, but I'm not wanting to take the protective film off until we're done with all of the construction. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really excited about how this thing looks. Tomorrow, it'll be more done, but for tonight, I'm done. I continue to move my way all around this vehicle. Today I'm making it a point to try to stay in the shade as much as possible. The see what we can get done today. At some point, we may have to pack up and leave because I'm gonna need some plumbing fittings for that thing, and I just can't find them online. But there are stores that sell plumbing fittings. Last night, we left off in a beautiful place. Let's make it more beautiful today, y'all. One of my bells and whistles that I got to finish today is something I've been really looking forward to, due to the internet being full of, everything you can dream of. I was able to purchase and install right here a little magnetic lock. Now, these things can get extreme, and you see them in commercial use. You see them when someone flips a button inside of a security booth and a door opens. That's what's happening. They're just releasing a magnetic switch. This one is just a tiny version of it. And if it's engaged, you can't open the door. There is a sister switch inside of the cab, and it does the same thing as well. So as long as you have the lock activated in the rear, you have current running through it. And if you turn the switch off, that stops the current, which means the magnet stops working and allows you to open it. Super simple, but Jetson level stuff. Ha! Okay, more spaceship features. Let's keep going. All right, one of the next steps is finalizing this shower drain. Now, I've asked Kelsey to sit inside and hold the drain steady while I tighten that big nut, and that's really all that holds it on. From that point forward, we're going to be using one of these, and they're HEPVOs, I believe is how you pronounce it, HEPVO. Either way, there's a rubber diaphragm inside of this thing that allows water to flow out of it, but it doesn't allow the smell of this gray tank to come back up in the shower. And that's a putrid smell after you really use one of these rigs. Let's get this attached so I can get the tank stuck back up in here. I feel like I'm covered in diesel grease. I'm not sure. Either way, I've spent the bulk of my day crawling around on the ground underneath this thing. And for any of you that don't understand how big I am and how big this space is, I've got about an inch between my chest and this rail, maybe 2 inches. Either way, it's a tight squeeze. I finalized using Unistrut and all thread. So basically I ran Unistrut on top of the tank and then ran all thread between the two to make a clamp to hold this tank. It's also baffled, so that creates a lip, and then there's a big aluminum barrier here. So if this vehicle were ever in a front end collision, that tank, if it goes anywhere, it's not going anywhere. I've also been working on checking and making sure all of the propane lines, because we have our feed from our counter comes down here, and the line runs this direction. In essence, I'm trying to make sure I don't have to crawl on the ground anymore, as well as making sure I get everything nice and tidy from my diesel heater install. It's been a lot of movement forward today, and I hope to keep making some more if this rain will just stay at this capacity.
Oh man, y'all, I came out to check on him and now I'm stuck in the rain too. At least everything's cleaned up, so it's not like anything could be being damaged from the rain. Oh, it's looking good in here, Shane.
It's a spaceship, man. Ready to fly this thing to the moon. Looking for stuff to do, Kelsey. Run now.
That's the plan, babe. That's the plan. Oh, guys, that ambulance is almost done. And that house is almost ready to roll. But first, we've got to get rid of all of this trash so that we can leave no trace, or maybe a little bit better than that. Jerry has lent us a trailer and the Jeep for the day. We're gonna see if we can get all this taken care of. We're gonna be a whole lot closer to leaving by the end of the day, y'all.
Well, I'm back inside the spaceship this morning. I will say I don't always enjoy the garbage man day, but it went as good as it can go. My space is almost clean out there. Let's see if we can empty these tarps out a little more today. I do have great ambitions of what is going to be accomplished today. Let's see what all we can do. Alright, for any of you that wasn't with us when I was building this door, I've taken the covers off to give it one more little adjustment. As you can see, I had a bit of a screw head that was digging in. This part's not visible once it's all put together, but I could feel it. So I had to pull it off and correct it. And I wanted to show you the electro lock I was talking about. As you run current through this thing, it creates a lock. When it's cut off, it releases. So it's just a metal pad, and then this is your electromagnet. I love this super simple solution to a seemingly annoying problem, because the previous conversion just had a piece of plexiglass and they haphazardly screwed some Ace Hardware hinges to this door frame and called it good. I'm hoping this adds many levels of sophistication and class to the whole thing. It certainly looks better, and it keeps out the sunlight and the heat, which is important. Well, I've continued pushing forward, and I did get the solar attached up top and connected. We do have connectivity on our charge controllers, but it was just in time for the rain to start heading in for the day. These are going to be our charge controllers here. So we have a 60 amp and a 40 amp. Because I split what's on the roof into two arrays, so that one, if there is failure of one array, we do have a secondary, and two, it doesn't require such large hardware to run that many panels on one charge controller. I still have a lot more testing to do, although I am running out of supplies, which means I'm about to have to drive into the big box stores so that I can finish my last few little projects and get all these tools out of here. This sink turned out so awesome.
Ugh. Guys, those skies sound and look really angry. It's been sprinkling on and off, but Shane is still pushing through, trying to work through it and hoping it doesn't get too bad. Boy, it's looking good in here, y'all. Oh, we're close. So very close. And all of this being so much cleaner makes it feel like we're closer too.
Well, I hear the sounds of sunset. This afternoon, since we've gotten back from the store, I have been working at finalizing the install of these rails as well as the wiring so I could start testing the lift mechanism, and I have accomplished that goal. All while running all the lights and the fan. And tomorrow, hopefully we'll get to run that air conditioner too. As well as build this bed frame. Clearly I got a lot to do in the morning. I'm gonna go get some rest. Doors, doors, oh these doors. With a lot of attention on my part given to them, I'm gonna end up having to part ways with them without them shutting properly. I just am not equipped to deal with this big style of hinge as well as the weight of this door. I don't have a bunch of people to help me move this thing around, and I don't have a crane. And those are pretty much the only options I can come up with. In that same vein, I don't want to spend a lot of time and effort really gussying up these doors and then the future solution be that something needs to happen to them. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to color match paint them to what's inside. Now, unfortunately, the type of paint that we used inside does not bond well to this type of surface. So I've had to change and use an oil-based paint, and it takes a little time to dry. So today I'm painting these while I'm moving around inside. Now that we got that air conditioner running, the bed is next on the agenda in there. But first, let's get some color on these things. All right. We got our first coats on each one. This enamel-based paint that I'm having to use to cover this FRP is a little meticulous to work with. So you definitely have to take your time. But now that we got that out of the way, the sun is officially out of the backyard. And I am preparing to build this bed frame. Now, a while back, I pre-ordered all of this, what you call 80/20. And these are aluminum. And this is the hardware to use to hold it together. Now, unfortunately, I was not able to get these exact cut for my needs, but I ordered as close as I could, so we're gonna have very minimal waste in this whole project. But in essence, we're just going to build a bed frame, a rectangle, and that anchors to these brackets here. Super simple. Let's get out that big saw. My goal is to work till dark tonight. There's some big thunderclaps coming. Oh, that must be what it's from. Maybe it'll stay away. I'm gonna keep pushing. I'm diligently working on my erector set, if you will, which Kelsey's been helping me with, because doing this alone is frustrating to say the least. Let's keep pushing ahead. We've almost got this bed done. George Jetson, you can suck it.
Oh, that's cool.
Hey, Kelsey!
Hello.
Look what I did. Oh, man, just in time to end the week. This is cool. This is really cool.
If only the week had a couple more hours left in it, guys, we'd have this thing finished up for you.
I know. I was so close. I was actually done. Sorry, y'all. You're going to have to come back, though. I'll see y'all next week. I did want to say thank you to each and every one of you that's waited around for this moment. I promise you, I've been waiting months to see this bed go up and down. We'll see y'all next week.
Peace out, guys. Y'all have a good one.
Bye, y'all.